Dr. Elijah Brown, a dedicated doctor, faces an unsettling evening when he's wrongly accused of fraud at a restaurant due to racial bias. Despite his calm demeanor, the situation escalates until the mistake is revealed. Turning the negative experience into a positive one, Dr. Brown organizes a successful free health clinic at the restaurant, fostering community unity and sparking important conversations about bias. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Dr. Elijah Brown, a dedicated Black doctor who has just wrapped up an exhaustive shift at the hospital, seeks a moment of solace by treating himself to a meal at an upscale restaurant named the Silver Spoon. The luxurious ambience and refined decor of the establishment contrast sharply with the tired scrubs he's still wearing from his long hours at the hospital. Despite his weariness, there's a profound sense of satisfaction that accompanies him as he steps into the restaurant, eager for a quiet evening. However, as Dr. Brown settles into a table and reviews the menu, he quickly becomes aware of the subtle yet palpable shift in the atmosphere. The curious glances and hushed whispers from other diners begin to build an invisible wall around him. The restaurant staff, particularly the waiter who first approaches him and the manager who appears shortly after, exhibit an unmistakable discomfort at his presence. The manager's behavior grows increasingly suspicious as he starts scrutinizing Dr. Brown's appearance and demeanor with a critical eye. The manager's doubts, fueled by unconscious biases, lead him to suspect that Dr. Brown might not be a legitimate customer, but rather someone who could be involved in credit card fraud. In a decision driven by these prejudices, the manager contacts the police, reporting a potential case of fraudulent activity. The once serene environment of the Silver Spoon is abruptly disrupted when two police officers arrive, their presence drawing the attention and murmurs of the other patrons as they make their way toward Dr. Brown's table. Dr. Elijah Brown, exhausted from a grueling double shift and simply hoping to enjoy a quiet meal, now faces the unwarranted scrutiny of the police. The officers inform him that a report has been made concerning possible credit card fraud. Despite his fatigue and the embarrassment of being publicly questioned, Dr. Brown remains composed. He promptly provides his identification and credit card, calmly explaining his situation to the officers. As he waits for them to verify his credentials, Dr. Brown is acutely aware of the judgmental and suspicious stares from the surrounding diners. The situation is a stark reminder of the discrimination that Dr. Brown faces despite his esteemed position. He maintains his dignity and professionalism, explaining that he has just completed a double shift at Memorial Hospital, where he serves as the chief of emergency medicine. Officer Martinez steps away to verify his employment, leaving Dr. Brown to grapple with a blend of hurt and frustration. He takes a moment to convey to Officer Johnson the essence of his situation, his profound dedication to his work, and his simple wish for a peaceful meal after a demanding day of saving lives. As the officers continue to probe and verify, the tension in the restaurant escalates. The other patrons, some of whom express their discomfort and concern over the unfolding scene, become a silent audience to the ordeal. Despite the invasive scrutiny and the spotlight on him, Dr. Brown upholds his grace and composure, reaffirming his integrity and commitment to his profession amidst the bias and discrimination he endures. This scene poignantly captures the bias and prejudice Dr. Brown encounters, highlighting how even a respected professional is not immune to assumptions based on appearance. The incident underscores the broader societal issues of racial discrimination, illustrating how Dr. Brown's professionalism and dignity stand in stark contrast to the prejudiced assumptions of others. As the tension in the restaurant escalates, the atmosphere becomes increasingly charged with discomfort. The restaurant manager hurries into the scene, visibly flustered, and delivers an urgent message there has been a mistake. Dr. Brown's credit card was accidentally swapped with that of another patron at the register. The manager, realizing the gravity of the error, quickly moves to rectify the situation. The officers, now acutely aware of their misjudgment, offer their heartfelt apologies to Dr. Brown. They admit that they should have exercised more diligence and conducted a thorough investigation before taking such a confrontational approach. Their apologies are sincere, reflecting their understanding of the unnecessary stress and embarrassment their actions have caused Dr. Brown. The scene underscores the growing discomfort among the onlookers, who have been silently witnessing the unfolding drama. In the aftermath of the misunderstanding, Dr. Brown receives not only apologies from the officers, but also a heartfelt gesture from the restaurant manager. The manager offers him a complimentary meal and extends a warm invitation for him to return as a valued guest in the future. The officers express their deep regret for their actions, acknowledging the broader implications of such incidents on individuals who often face prejudice. Though Dr. Brown appreciates the apologies, he takes the opportunity to address the deeper impact of such incidents. He explains how encounters like these can be particularly hurtful for those who face bias regularly. His words resonate in the restaurant, creating a somber silence. The officers, visibly ashamed, vow to learn from this experience and improve their practices. The patrons, initially hesitant, begin to show their support for Dr. Brown. An elderly woman stands up and publicly thanks him for his grace and his contributions to the community, prompting a heartfelt round of applause. Despite the show of support, Dr. Brown remains quietly reflective, his appetite overshadowed by the day's events. As Dr. Brown exits the restaurant, he carries with him the weight of the day's occurrences, but also a burgeoning sense of resolve. Determined to transform the negative experience into a catalyst for positive change, he resolves to address the broader issues of bias and prejudice that the incident has highlighted. He starts to form plans to initiate sensitivity training at the hospital, advocate for diversity in schools, and collaborate with the police to enhance their handling of similar situations in the future. Returning to the hospital, Dr. Brown approaches his work with renewed purpose, driven by the need to turn his painful experience into something meaningful. In search of support and guidance, he confides in his close friend and colleague, Dr. Sarah Mitchell. In the doctor's lounge, he recounts the details of the incident and shares his desire to effect change in response to the discrimination he faced. Sarah listens with empathy and immediately offers her support. If you are still watching this video and find these stories useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Together, they begin to brainstorm ways to channel Dr. Brown's experiences into positive action. Dr. Brown proposes the idea of hosting a free health clinic at the very restaurant where the incident took place. The concept quickly gained momentum. The clinic would provide basic checkups, health screenings, and vaccinations, transforming the restaurant from a site of pain into a space of community healing. They envision assembling a diverse team of healthcare professionals to reflect the community's diversity, using the event as an opportunity to foster conversations about bias and prejudice in healthcare. With Sarah's steadfast encouragement and their shared enthusiasm, what had initially started as a harrowing and distressing ordeal evolved into a transformative plan for a community event designed to foster healing, unity, and positive change. The idea of a free health clinic was conceived not merely as a solution to address medical needs, but as a profound opportunity to bridge divides within the community, converting a place of previous humiliation into a beacon of hope and collaborative spirit. Dr. Brown, with a mixture of apprehension and determination, dialed the number for the restaurant. Harold Thompson answered with his usual gruff tone. Upon identifying himself and referencing the recent unpleasant incident, Dr. Brown could sense Mr. Thompson's growing unease. Despite the initial confusion, Dr. Brown boldly proposed turning this negative experience into a constructive community effort by hosting a free health clinic at the restaurant. As Dr. Brown outlined his vision of providing essential health services while promoting community unity and understanding, Mr. Thompson's demeanor shifted from skepticism to genuine interest. Moved by Dr. Brown's thoughtful proposal, Mr. Thompson expressed deep remorse for the incident that had occurred and agreed to host the clinic as a gesture of atonement. Relieved and elated, Dr. Brown thanked Mr. Thompson for his willingness and commitment. Mr. Thompson assured Dr. Brown that he would finalize the details, which marked the beginning of an exciting collaboration. Eager to bring the vision to life, Dr. Brown and Sarah immediately began organizing the clinic. They worked tirelessly to secure volunteers, coordinate logistics, and spread the word throughout the community. As the date of the event approached, the community's enthusiasm and support for the initiative grew steadily. When the day of the clinic finally arrived, the restaurant was transformed into a bustling hub of activity. Medical stations were set up throughout the space, and volunteers were stationed at every corner, ready to assist. Dr. Brown and Sarah warmly greeted community members as they arrived, providing not only medical care but also engaging in meaningful discussions about bias and prejudice. The event proved to be a resounding success, cultivating a deep sense of unity and optimism among all attendees. Observing the vibrant energy and overwhelming support from the community, Dr. Brown felt a profound sense of pride and fulfillment. In reflecting on the journey, Dr. Brown recognized the invaluable role of Sarah's support in turning a painful experience into a powerful community benefit. The event garnered positive media coverage and widespread admiration from the community. As the clinic drew to a close, Dr. Brown and Sarah shared a moment of deep satisfaction, recognizing the significant impact their efforts had made and the renewed sense of connection and purpose they now felt. At precisely 9 a.m., as the clinic doors swung open, the first patients began to arrive. Dr. Brown, observing the diverse array of individuals coming through, was reminded of the core purpose of their initiative. A young mother, accompanied by her 2 children, approached, expressing her heartfelt gratitude for the free services amidst her concern for her kids' health. Dr. Brown experienced a profound surge of purpose, knowing that despite the challenging incident that preceded this moment, he was genuinely making a difference in the community. The atmosphere was electric with a shared sense of purpose as he and his colleagues delivered care with compassion and dedication. In an unexpected turn, Officers Johnson and Martinez, who had been involved in the earlier incident, arrived to assist with crowd control. Their arrival was met with surprise upon seeing Dr. Brown, the man they had previously wronged, at the center of this positive community event. Observing Dr. Brown's dedication and kindness up close, their feelings of shame and regret grew deeper. Officer Johnson, unable to contain his disbelief, murmured about the doctor's generosity despite their past actions, while Officer Martinez concurred, acknowledging the doctor's genuine commitment to the community's well-being. As the day unfolded, Dr. Brown remained steadfast in his dedication, working diligently and compassionately to address the medical needs of his patients. His unwavering commitment did not go unnoticed, and the gratitude from the community was both profound and heartfelt. The officers who had initially been skeptical found themselves deeply moved by the tangible positive impact of the clinic. This led them to reflect on their own biases and the far-reaching consequences of their actions. They began to recognize how their prejudices had not only hurt Dr. Brown personally, but had also affected the broader community. Their respect for Dr. Brown grew as they witnessed the meaningful difference he was making, despite the injustices he had endured. Amidst this newfound respect, Officer Johnson took a decisive step towards reconciliation. He approached Dr. Brown with a sincere apology, openly acknowledging the wrongs committed by himself and his colleagues. Johnson praised Dr. Brown for his unwavering commitment to serving others, even in the face of adversity. Dr. Brown received the apology graciously, using the opportunity to convey a message of hope and personal growth. He emphasized the importance of recognizing one's mistakes and the necessity of striving for improvement. This exchange between the 2 men symbolized a crucial step towards mutual understanding and healing, illustrating that even after challenging experiences, there is potential for positive change. As the clinic neared its conclusion, the once bustling atmosphere began to settle into a more serene calm. Patients expressed their heartfelt farewells, and volunteers worked diligently to clean up the makeshift medical stations. The event had proven to be a resounding success, delivering essential medical care to those in need. Mr. Thompson, the restaurant owner, approached the stage with a mixture of apprehension and determination. He addressed the gathered crowd, openly acknowledging the recent controversy involving Dr. Elijah Brown. Thompson offered a sincere apology for the wrongful accusations and the emotional distress they had caused. He lauded Dr. Brown for his remarkable ability to transform a negative situation into a positive community event, a gesture that was met with enthusiastic applause from the appreciative audience. Dr. Brown, touched by Mr. Thompson's apology and the overwhelming support from the crowd, experienced a profound sense of relief and gratitude. The day's events fostered a spirit of unity and reconciliation, effectively transforming the restaurant from a place of conflict into a center of community support. As the crowd began to disperse, Dr. Brown found himself surrounded by grateful patients and supportive volunteers, reflecting on the significant impact of the clinic and the renewed sense of purpose it had imbued in him. Officers Johnson and Martinez, who had assisted with crowd control throughout the day, approached Dr. Brown to convey their newfound respect and appreciation. Officer Johnson, having previously offered his apology, commended Dr. Brown for his ability to turn a challenging situation into a beneficial community event. Dr. Brown responded with an encouraging message about the importance of learning from one's experiences and striving for personal growth. Additionally, a waiter who had previously been skeptical came forward to offer his apology, recognizing and admitting his previous judgments. Dr. Brown's kindness and his willingness to embrace understanding and forgiveness left a lasting and profound impression on everyone present. In the days that followed, Dr. Brown's story captured widespread media attention, becoming a beacon of hope and inspiration. Local newspapers, television news channels, and social media platforms were abuzz with coverage of the clinic and Dr. Brown's remarkable journey. Hashtags such as #BrownInspires and Healing Through Kindness trended, igniting conversations about overcoming prejudice, addressing bias, and the transformative power of forgiveness. The story of the clinic emerged as a powerful symbol of redemption and community spirit, emphasizing the potential for positive change and the lasting impact of compassion. If you are still watching this video and find these stories useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Dr. Brown found himself at the center of a burgeoning movement, with messages of support and appreciation pouring into his inbox from across the nation. People shared their personal experiences of discrimination and expressed how Dr. Brown's story had given them renewed hope and courage. Community leaders reached out to invite him to speak at events and participate in panel discussions on diversity and inclusion. Eager to contribute to the broader conversation, Dr. Brown embraced these opportunities, using his platform to advocate for positive change and greater understanding. In a particularly poignant interview, Dr. Brown reflected on the deep feelings of humiliation and anger he experienced during the incident. Despite these challenges, he chose to respond with positivity, aiming to transform his painful experiences into opportunities for growth and reconciliation. His honest and heartfelt reflections resonated widely, sparking discussions about how to confront prejudice and promote inclusivity in various spheres of life. Individuals across the country began sharing their efforts to combat bias, often citing Dr. Brown's example as a powerful source of motivation. The restaurant where the incident had taken place also garnered significant attention for its efforts to improve inclusivity. Mr. Thompson, the owner, spoke openly about the changes he was implementing to create a more welcoming environment, earning recognition as a model for other businesses striving to foster inclusivity and understanding. As Dr. Brown resumed his hospital shifts, he noticed a marked shift in the atmosphere around him. Colleagues and patients alike greeted him with newfound respect and admiration. He was deeply moved by the heartfelt letters of gratitude and encouragement he received, which further strengthened his commitment to his work. Patients, inspired by Dr. Brown's actions, were more open in sharing their struggles and expressed renewed hope. Colleagues, including Dr. Sarah Mitchell, acknowledged the significant impact of Dr. Brown's efforts, noting that his actions had sparked increased conversations about bias and inclusivity within the hospital community. Dr. Brown's experience not only transformed the immediate environment around him, but also ignited a broader movement for change, demonstrating the profound effect that one person's commitment to kindness and understanding can have on a community and beyond. The restaurant, once renowned solely for its upscale dining, had undergone a remarkable transformation into a beacon of community change. Mr. Thompson, ever committed to making amends, honored his pledge by introducing a diversity trainer to work closely with the staff. These training sessions, which focused on empathy, cultural competence, and inclusion, led to profound personal and professional growth among the employees. The shift in the restaurant's environment was palpable, creating a more welcoming and inclusive atmosphere. As the establishment's reputation evolved to reflect this new spirit of inclusivity and respect, it began to attract a diverse clientele. This shift not only symbolized a positive change within the restaurant, but also highlighted the broader impact of Dr. Brown's courageous actions. Mr. Thompson's dedication to fostering community unity extended beyond the restaurant's walls. He organized a community dinner aimed at bridging gaps between people from different backgrounds. The inaugural event was a resounding success, with attendees sharing their stories and forging unexpected connections. The evening was filled with laughter and engaging conversations, breaking down previously insurmountable barriers. A young artist found a mentor in a retired businessman, while a single mother received support and encouragement from fellow diners. Mr. Thompson, observing the night's success with pride, approached Dr. Brown to express his heartfelt gratitude. He thanked Dr. Brown for his forgiveness and for catalyzing the positive changes within the community. The impact of the incident on the police department was profound. Chief Sandra Santos, recognizing the urgent need for reform, convened a crucial meeting with her officers. During this session, she addressed the unacceptable nature of the incident involving Dr. Brown and articulated a firm commitment to systemic improvement. Officers Johnson and Martinez, who had been directly involved in the incident, spoke candidly about their personal biases and the lessons they had learned. This moment of honesty and reflection laid the groundwork for implementing a comprehensive plan for diversity and bias training. The new training program included unconscious bias education, cultural sensitivity training, and techniques for de-escalation. As the training progressed, Officers Johnson and Martinez emerged as advocates for change within the department. They shared their experiences openly and encouraged their colleagues to confront and address their own biases. The department also introduced new policies aimed at increasing accountability, including checks and balances for handling calls that might involve racial bias and requirements for officers to provide explanations for their actions during interrogations. These changes marked a significant shift in the department's approach to policing, fostering a renewed sense of responsibility and empathy among officers. In parallel, Dr. Brown and Mr. Thompson began exploring additional initiatives to build upon their recent successes. Mr. Thompson proposed expanding the health clinic into a broader community health initiative. This ambitious plan involved partnering with local businesses, organizations, and the police department to offer health screenings, workshops, and support groups. The initiative aimed not only to address health needs, but also to continue fostering conversations about diversity and inclusion. Dr. Brown was enthusiastic about the potential of this initiative. He envisioned hosting community forums, inviting speakers, and facilitating discussions that would further the dialogue on these critical issues. Both men felt hopeful about the potential for creating lasting change, driven by their shared commitment to a more inclusive and supportive community. Mr. Thompson enthusiastically proposed that his restaurant serve as the central venue for their new community health initiative, symbolizing both their progress and commitment to fostering positive change. As they brainstormed, Dr. Brown felt a profound sense of warmth and gratitude. What had begun as a painful ordeal was transforming into something truly transformative and beautiful. The collaboration felt special, marked by a shared dedication to making a meaningful impact. With the initiative gaining momentum, Dr. Brown found himself in the media spotlight. He used interviews as a platform to share his journey of turning adversity into an opportunity for growth and healing. His focus on the power of forgiveness and compassion struck a chord with many, leading to widespread support and the viral spread of the #CompassionAction across social media. The first anniversary of the health clinic arrived, and the restaurant, once a site of conflict, had evolved into a vibrant hub of community support. Dr. Brown surveyed the bustling scene with pride. The diverse crowd, the energetic volunteers, and the welcoming atmosphere all spoke to the clinic's success and its role in fostering unity and hope. Dr. Brown marveled at how the space had transformed from a place of humiliation into one of celebration and connection, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. As the event continued, Mr. Thompson took the stage to acknowledge the contributions of those who had helped make the initiative a success. With Dr. Brown seated in the front row, Mr. Thompson delivered a heartfelt tribute, praising Dr. Brown's role in turning a dark moment into a beacon of hope. The ceremony was an unexpected but deeply moving tribute to the power of forgiveness and the strength of community. Dr. Brown, usually composed, felt a surge of emotion as the room erupted in applause. Standing beside Mr. Thompson, Dr. Brown's usually calm demeanor was visibly touched. Mr. Thompson placed a reassuring hand on Dr. Brown's shoulder, acknowledging the grace and forgiveness he had shown in the face of injustice. "You've demonstrated to us all the true meaning of compassion and the incredible impact of turning pain into purpose," Mr. Thompson said, clearly illustrating the profound effect Dr. Brown's actions had on everyone present. Tears welled up in Dr. Brown's eyes as he took in the scene before him. The restaurant was brimming with patients he had helped, colleagues who had stood by him, and community members who had rallied around his cause. Each face represented a part of the journey, a testament to the power of collective healing and solidarity. If you are still watching this video and find these stories useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The event continued with a poignant gesture from Mr. Thompson, who invited the restaurant staff and the police officers involved in last year's incident to join him on stage. The spotlight fell on Officer Johnson, who stepped forward, visibly shaken. His voice quivered as he publicly apologized for his actions, attributing his profound personal and professional transformation to Dr. Brown's forgiveness and unwavering commitment to change. The sincerity of his apology was palpable, and the weight of the moment seemed to hang in the air. As Officer Johnson concluded his heartfelt apology, the emotional atmosphere in the room was tangible. The audience, deeply touched by the display of humility and reconciliation, wiped away tears as Dr. Brown embraced Officer Johnson. This powerful image of forgiveness and unity inspired a spontaneous standing ovation from the room, a powerful testament to the community's recognition of genuine transformation. With the crowd's attention fully captured, Dr. Brown took the microphone, and the room fell into a hushed silence. He spoke with a voice that was both soft and resolute, reflecting on the journey from a moment of profound injustice to a movement of hope and renewal. "A year ago," he began, "I felt humiliated and angry, but he now stood before them filled with hope and gratitude." Dr. Brown emphasized that the remarkable change witnessed was the result of choosing healing over hurt and understanding over ignorance. He urged the audience to engage in self-reflection, to recognize their own biases, and to strive for improvement. True change starts in the heart, he stated, encouraging simple acts of kindness and standing up for what is right as essential steps toward making a meaningful difference. His words resonated deeply with the audience, many of whom nodded in agreement and contemplation. As the event drew to a close and the crowd began to disperse, Dr. Brown found himself surrounded by familiar faces. Mr. Thompson and Officer Wilson approached him, expressing their heartfelt gratitude and acknowledging the transformative impact of Dr. Brown's efforts. They decided to share a meal, celebrating the unity and healing that had emerged from their shared experiences. The restaurant, once a site of division and conflict, now buzzed with laughter and animated conversation, symbolizing a new chapter of friendship and community. The evening was a vivid illustration of how adversity could be transformed into an opportunity for growth and reconciliation, leaving everyone present with a renewed sense of hope and a commitment to fostering a more inclusive and compassionate community. As we wrap up this story, we hope you've gained some valuable insights into the complexities of confronting and overcoming bias, as well as the power of turning adversity into a force for positive change. Dr. Elijah Brown's experience at the Silver Spoon restaurant and the subsequent community health initiative sheds light on the profound impact of grace, determination, and resilience in the face of discrimination. We want to hear from you. What is one key takeaway you've gained from this story that you plan to apply in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring content. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.